Apparently, Frank Warren has said that negotiations are now underway for the Dubois-Joyce fight this year. He announced this on his Twitter account, but we all know that Frank Warren doesn't really write his own tweets, so God knows who that was in Queensbury. But while Frank Warren is saying that this fight is being negotiated, Sam Jones, Joe Joyce's manager, is saying something a bit different. Because according to this tweet here from Michael Benson, he says that Sam Jones has put Joyce forward as a potential opponent for Adam Kownacki in New York on March 7th. Jones revealed that despite the Hook cancellation, they're planning for Joyce to fight within the next few months and then fight in April too. Now, Joyce was signed to PBC. He did a deal with Al Heyman. I'm not sure if he's still under contract with Heyman. If he isn't, he's obviously still got some kind of relationship or good rapport with PBC and Heyman to be throwing his name in the hat as an opponent for Kownacki. And obviously, the Kownacki fight has got a lot more upside for Joe Joyce than the Dubois fight has, because Kownacki is ranked higher. Kownacki is more well-known in world boxing than Daniel Dubois is at this point. So if he's to go in there against, and it's probably more money as well, truth be told, against Kownacki, the PBC will probably pay him more than Frank Warren will pay him for Dubois. I mean, I can't be certain about that, but I'm making an assumption there. So yeah, interesting that Sam Jones is talking about Joe Joyce versus Kownacki, whereas Frank Warren's acting like the Dubois fight is going to happen. What's really going on here, people? Are these two situations going on simultaneously, or is one of them a smokescreen and the other one is what's really happening? Before I end this video, I have to address something which Boxing Beats and Rhymes brought to my attention, because I often don't look in the comment section to a lot of my videos because there are so many idiots in there. I just can't even bring my mind into that space where I'm dealing with people with dangerously low IQs. Obviously, the majority of people in the comment section are, intelligent boxing fans or whatever. But there's always a lot of idiots in there as well. I can't deal with people who are so dangerously stupid. But apparently one of these people in the comment section to my recent video about Daniel Dubois and whether he's ducking Martin Bakole, apparently there are a few people actually saying that how can Daniel Dubois fight Bakole when Bakole just lost to a cruiserweight, earlier on in his career? I mean, I've never heard something so stupid in all my life. Michael Hunter is the same size as Deontay Wilder, if you're talking about weight. In fact, for his last fight against Povetkin, he weighed more than Deontay Wilder has weighed for most of his fights. Michael Hunter in the amateurs was fighting at 200 pounds, and I think he was also fighting above 200 pounds. Deontay Wilder in the amateurs was fighting at 200 pounds. And if you want to run around saying that Dylan White should fight Daniel Dubois, because that's apparently what a lot of people are saying, White should fight Dubois. Well, White just went the distance with Marius Wack. Martin Bakole stopped Marius Wack. So if you're looking for somebody on decent form, well, Martin Bakole would appear to be on better form than Dylan White, wouldn't he? Since they had a common opponent in the past 12 months or whatever, and Martin Bakole got rid of him inside the distance and Dylan White went the distance. And that Bakole-Marius Wack fight wasn't close. So people stop talking rubbish. The heavyweight division is replete with individuals who moved up from lower weights and had success. David Haye, Evander Holyfield, Michael Spinks, on and on it goes. So don't bring that rubbish to the table. Martin Bakole is far better than the people Daniel Dubois has been fighting. The likes of the Tete and who is the other guy now? Latte and that Japanese guy. Bakole's way better than these guys. He's at a similar stage of his career to Dubois, so it's a perfectly viable fight. And he also comes cheap. And he's willing to fight on BT. And Eddie Hearn will cover his purse. So if Daniel Dubois is desperate for opponents, as Frank Warren says he is, desperate for a step up, Martin Bakole is right there. There is absolutely no good reason for him to turn down that fight if he's honest about what he's looking for. But I would suggest that Frank Warren is not honest. Frank Warren, yeah, he wants to step Daniel Dubois up, but he wants to do it within the confines of the Queensbury BT home, you know, where if he's going to risk Daniel Dubois against somebody, it's either got to be somebody with a real big name, whereby it's worth taking the risk. Because if you lose, you can say, oh, well, Daniel was a bit green. He can come again. You know, like the Anthony Yard, Sergey Kovalev type situation. Oh, he was green. He'll come again. Or somebody in-house like Joyce, whereby if he loses, you can run it back. And even if you don't run it back, Frank Warren has still got the winner. If, you know, Joyce happened to beat him. So that's what Frank Warren is trying to do, because let's be real, Frank Warren's on the ropes, as I mentioned in the previous video recently. He's on the ropes again. He didn't take advantage of AJ losing and Matchroom taking a lot of their fighters over to the United States. He hasn't managed to take advantage of that. He's pinning his hopes on Daniel Dubois, but because of that, he's being very careful at this stage, because now is the moment where Daniel Dubois has to actually start being in seriously competitive fights. That's the moment he's at right now. And he may be good enough to win all these competitive fights. But you have to understand that Frank Warren is thinking from a manager's perspective, and he's thinking about his own career. He's not just thinking about Dubois, he's thinking about himself. Frank Warren has put his guys in against rival promoters, fighters, and lost before in big fights. I mean, he lost with David Haye, a guy he wanted to sign for pretty much all of David Haye's career. Frank Warren wanted to sign him, and David Haye would never sign to Frank Warren. When Frank Warren had Enzo Macronelli, he pushed Macronelli forward to fight David Haye, really believing that Macronelli would do the business. David Haye bowled Macronelli over in a couple rounds and sailed off into the sunset. He also did the same with Chisora. Frank Warren put him forward to fight David Haye. David Haye bowled his man over, over again. And that's David Haye, right? But the thing I'm saying is Frank Warren lives with the memory of that in his mind when he's managing all of his fighters, but particularly Daniel Dubois. Yeah, he's living with the memory of what's happened to him before. Some of the fighters that he's managed and promoted, he's put them in against opponents who are promoted by rivals, and it hasn't gone well. David Haye obviously was self-promoted at the time. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Daniel Dubois versus Joyce. Will that happen in 2020, or is this fight more likely? And how do you think Joyce would do in this fight, by the way, against Adam Kownacki? I can see the upside, but at the same time, it's a very difficult fight for Joyce. I think it'll be a hell of a fight. Both guys like to throw a lot of punches. You would imagine politically, even though Joyce might still be a PBC fighter, politically you'd imagine that in a close one on the scorecards, they'll give Kownacki the benefit of the doubt. That fight will probably go the distance, you know, Kownacki against Joyce. But you'd have to imagine they'll probably give Kownacki the benefit of the doubt. I don't see Joyce stopping Kownacki, and I probably don't see Kownacki stopping Joyce either. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. It's Hatman, I'm out. Hatman merch is now available. We got t-shirts, vests, hoodies, and more. Just click the link below.